Hey guys, this is Jacob, nightridershop.com. This video is just going to be me updating my laundry room. I'm going to be redoing the flooring in here and putting washer and dryer in here and getting it ready for renovation that I'm going to be doing to it. It's nothing to do with Night Rider, so if you're on this channel for the Night Rider stuff, this is just kind of a renovation of my laundry room. So take care, guys. And I hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, so here is the laundry room slash closet from our bedroom, and you can see they put some OSB and some carpet down, and I want to put some tile, but you could see the flooring here is not level. They try to level it by putting OSB on top and by putting wood here, but the wood is way too high. If you could see, level should be right there. Okay, so it's way too high. You could even see it, the OSB lifting up here. So I got to rip all this OSB out, and the reason why it's unlevel is because they had some vinyl here with some I don't know, some kind of compressed, some kind of wood, some kind of underlayment wood, and that wood is higher up than the base. So I'm gonna rip all this out so I can have one level base to put my hardy back or backer board on top before I tile. But yeah, just wanted to show you that because a lot of times people will do stuff like this in a home to just get around having to rip out the old floor. I guess it's easier just to throw down some OSB and go on top of that with carpet, but you need the floor nice and level to do tile, or else when you step on it, it can crack the tile. Alright, check this out guys. You got 1, 2, 3 vents for a dryer, okay, and there's a built-in pipe there that takes the vents out to the side of the house, but obviously they had a hard time deciding where the heck they wanted the dryer, I guess. Alright, so I tried to use a crowbar or my one of these tools. It works okay, but it digs into the wood. So I'm using this is what you use for auto industry for like pry bar, for like tie rods and stuff. This seems to work the best to pull this stuff out. The old I guess it's particle board. A lot of people used it in homes for the underlayment, and they put vinyl on top of it, but I want to get down to the base wood, so we got to rip all that out because this thing is not level at all, because there's pieces missing out of it and stuff. So yeah, but this tool right here, it works really good. You see, even my wife, a woman, could do it. And once you start getting this up, just break it. Alright guys, so now I'm almost done ripping this, half of it at least, out. And you can see it's level now. Check that out. Level. Okay, so the main substrate is usually going to be level unless you got some kind of foundation problem. And so this is level, so there was no need to have to put that wood in and then, bow it up like that. It was really making it worse. Best thing to do is just rip out the old stuff and put new stuff down. So we finished pulling out all the old stuff. We're down to the subfloor. Okay, and it definitely is not level. This side of the floor is sloped downwards a little bit. And this one's a little more straight, so I don't know how I'm going to fix this. I could either tile this side slope down and then tile this side the other way and kind of have it angled down. You probably won't even notice it that much because it's going to be a washer and dryer here. Or I can fix it, put little shims going across, wood shims, until it's leveled out this side, going that way. Or I could put down some hardy back and then use some leveler over there, but I'm going to need a lot of leveler because it's quite a bit off. If you go over here, you can see how much off it is. See that? It's like an inch.
maybe 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Yeah, and over there at the end it's a good 2 inches. So we'll see what I'm gonna do. I could, like I said, I could tile it this slope down and then have a grout line where it's you know, transitioning to this side, or I can put down some more of this OSB and then put, you know, wood at different heights until it's leveled out to the end. That's another way you could do it, and then put the OSB on top of that, and then you put your hardy back on top of the OSB. Or, like I said, you can use leveler, but that's going to need a lot of leveling. That's a little bit too much for leveler. And then I still got to take this piece of, I don't know why they put a piece of plywood here. So I got to take my saw and cut it because it's under there quite a bit on that side. And then over here I got some hardwood flooring that I tried ripping out, and that's just stuck there really good. So I don't know, I might just level it with some OSB. But yeah, I do feel better getting that old stuff out because it was really old with vinyl. I got 2 bags of this old flooring and vinyl that was under here. But yeah, I'll sleep on it and figure out what I want to do another day. And here's the tile I picked out. It's a porcelain tile. It doesn't have a high finish. It's kind of a flat, dull. They had some that look kind of like marble. It's real shiny, but I think we wanted something a little more subtle, not as glossy. So we picked this out. It's a 18 by 18 porcelain. Alright, so there used to be a wall here. You could see where, you know, they had wood coming up in those holes here. Okay? So there was a wall here, and obviously somebody knocked it down to make it wider to open this up. So what you have is you have probably an existing floor on this side that went to that room, I'm guessing, because it's nice and level right here, but it's the level stops here, and then it's not level with this floor. It's like you could tell it's totally different. It was totally different rooms. This was probably leveled out for that room, so it's probably level with that room. This one's level to this room. So when you put them together, when there's a wall there, of course, you know they're gonna level it differently on the other side of the wall. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be flat, which it's not. So I got this high spot in the middle. So there's 2 ways I can do this. I can put tile down here, from here to there, and stop there, and use my grout line here, and where the grout line is, put the tile at an angle flat going that way. There is going to be a high spot if I do that, and you will be able to see it most likely. But this is a washroom. It'll be a washer, dryer, and then like a little cabinet here, vanity. So you probably won't see it much, but it's still going to be existent. You can get away doing that. It'd be easier, or you can try to level out the floor. You know, flatten the floor as one floor, and that's what I think I'm going to do. And you can see I got like an inch and I think 1.5 inches there high, and then, you know, that's like what, like a 3/4 of an inch, a 1/2 inch, whatever. Then on this side I got it where this is only like a 1/2 inch off on this side, so it dips a bit more there for some reason. I think I had maybe a joist problem there or something, I don't know. It looks like this was an opening for a basement hatch at one point. You could see the little where they had where it opens, you know, where the cover opens. And this is, there's nothing really under this other than one piece of wood. In the other places you can see there's a lot more pieces of wood. So I'm thinking this was some kind of hatch. This house is 150 years old, so who knows. It kind of bugs me not knowing how this originally laid out, but it's okay. So you could see 3 different holes for a laundry, you know, dryer. So I'll probably just keep this one since it's closer to here in that'll give me space to do whatever is over here. So yeah, so that's the problem I'm going through, is leveling out the surface here, because I think it's just a little more professional to have this thing, since it's a room now, to have it flat and level instead of having it go like that and then kind of go down a little bit. Even though if it's 1.5 inches, it won't be that dramatic. But if I ever was to sell this house and I pulled out the washer and dryer, you know, and you saw it as an empty floor and you had it like that, you would notice that there was a sinking part in the floor, and people might think, oh, so maybe there's something, foundation problems or something. So it's best just to fix it and do it the right way. Alright guys, so I started to fill in the holes. All I'm using is some insulation board you can buy at the local Home Depot. And all I did is cut out the holes about the size of the hole, and then just shoved it in there as best I could to fill up those little old vent holes and any other holes that I found, which there was quite a few of them. Put some around the little pipings here. Helps keep drafts out, bugs out and stuff. And one there. I still got one more little one to do. It's a pain in the butt to get the right size and to shim it. So I think I'm just going to screw this down all the way flat, and then just buy a leveler, a leveling compound, and just mix it up and just pour it, because this thing it's really off on one side. So I think I'm going to do that. Alright, so I want to show you guys something. I want to show you how off this floor is. It's a pretty flat piece of wood. So it's about, I don't know, 6 feet across, I think. A little over 6 feet. Okay, so on this side it's nice and flat. Check out that on that side. Look at how off it is. It's like almost 2 inches off. That's really bad. Can you imagine how much leveler I'd have to put in there to get that flush with this side? Alright, today I'm finishing up the last bits of the hardy back in this little area here. And I found out there was an original door right here. So I'm thinking to put the doorway back, and I'll show you on the other side how that looks. Alright, here's the other side, and what they did is they had a huge bookshelf here that I'm taking down, shelving here, and it had this drawers up there. So I'm taking those down, and behind this there was a piece of sheetrock that was just kind of placed in there. It wasn't even screwed down, and then all they did was put a 2x4 here, 2x4 there, and one down the middle. So what I'm going to do is take the 2x4s out, because this is the original doorway to the house. So I might as well keep the original doorway. I mean, I could close it off, but I mean, this gives access to the bathroom. So, and this is going to be the dining room. So that's not a bad thing to have another doorway, instead of people don't have to go all the way around the kitchen to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to open this up, and yeah, that's what I'll do with. Alright, for those of you guys that are going to be putting a leveling compound on the floor, what I'm using is self-seal insulation foam, and it's stick-on. And what I'm doing is cutting a little piece to go on my pipes here, because this is for the cold and hot for the wash machine and dryer. So you got all these little. This is for electricity. So yeah, put that down at the bottom, at least an inch up, and then it'll keep any leveling compound from going in there, and also give you some a gap from that little area too. And I'm going to do that right here as well. And again, that keeps the leveling compound from getting in there. It gives you a little bit of room so you can move the pipe around if you need to. And another thing is, I'm not going to be using a leveling compound. I'm going to be using just cement and sand. And it just, I don't know, it just seems easier for me to do it like that. And it's the old school method of doing it. I know everybody's using self-leveling compounds, but those can be expensive. They're like $40 a bag. And the cement's a lot cheaper, $10 for a 90-pound bag of cement, and then sand's only a few bucks. And if you mix 4 to 1, 4 parts sand, 1 part cement, mix it up, get a little bit wet, not too wet, but have it, you know, like a cake mixture. And then you lay that out where, because I still got this very unlevel surface here, and I want to fix it. So you can see right here, it starts to get unlevel about right here to the wall, from the wall to there, and that side's nice and flat. So yeah, there's different ways to do it, but that's the route I'm choosing. A little bit cheaper. Already got $500 in materials just on the tile and the flooring, hardy backer and screws and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'll show you guys as I go on the way though. Alright, so I got the straightest 2x4 I could find, and it's a 6 foot length, about what I need. And you can see there's a little gap right here, just a tiny bit, but my major gap is that side, and we're a good inch off at the end. So again, I'm going to try to fix it by leveling it out with some cement and some sand mixed together 4-to-1. 4 parts sand, 1 part cement, and I'll mix it somewhat dry, wet dry, more on the dry side, and then we'll just put it up on there. And what you want to do is you want to put cement, a skim layer of cement first, just cement, somewhat liquidy, and then you want to put the dry sand and cement on top of that. And the point of the cement by itself is so it will stick to the floor better. So when the bottom dries, it'll really grab on. Yeah, so it looks like I got a good 10 feet of unlevelness from about the entry door to about where this knee pad is, and about this wall line right here. So it's just right here, and that's actually where the laundry dryer and little vent, you know, cabinet will be. So you won't really see it, but just want to fix it. And here's the doorway that we created, the original one that they had filled, all cut out. Still got to cut it out a little bit better, a little bit more, but I got to get a better knife to cut that. And that will give you entry to the dining room, which is a mess. Alright, first thing I'm starting to do here is putting up a level down, and I want it somewhat level on this side where it's flat, and push down on it to the bubbles in the middle of there. And once it's in the middle, you're going to mark with a pencil where the little gap is under your level begins. So if you see a little light through here, you mark the pencil where it begins and go all the way back to the wall. And do that every, I don't know, every about 10 inches or a foot, and you'll see where the marks are that I put. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, and so on. That's where I need to start with my with the leveling compound, the concrete mix. I need to start right here. And that's just a guide to help me, so when I'm starting to put this in here, not to go too far. I don't need to go way out here. This would be pointless, it's already flat out here. So this gives me a guide of where I need to stop with, you know, the mud. And I marked it all the way to about right here. And that's right here. Here's the beginning. So there's the beginning of my low spots. And then it gets out, the farthest it goes is about right here. I'll show you guys how much unlevel this is. I'm standing on a 2x4 on one side, and this is a pretty straight 2x4. And you can see on this side, it's a good 2 inches, or about almost an inch, and a little over 1 3/4, almost 2 inches. At the very end, it's pretty much 2 inches, dead on. Okay. So that's quite a bit of a gap, and that's why I didn't want to use the leveler stuff that they sell, because that's quite a bit of a gap for that leveling stuff. Some of that stuff only goes up to like 1.5 inches, and this is 2 inches. So that's why I'm using the cement with sand, and that's how the master tile people do it. I've watched videos of guys that have been working on tile for most of their lives, and that's what they use, is sand with the cement. Alright, so we're going to chalk line on the floor where it's nice and flat so we don't go over and start messing up the flat side. Alright, so it's a 4-to-1 ratio, 4 parts sand, 1 part cement. Don't get mistaken with, I'm using Portland cement. Don't use concrete, it's different, or mortar. So cement, and you don't use place sand. You want to use the orangey sand, the one that's got like different thicknesses. That's better to be used. And yeah, so there's 4 parts and 1 part, and we're gonna mix it. So you can kind of see about how it looks, and make sure you get a trowel and you mix it all up, because you really need it mixed. And after this is mixed up fully, you're going to take a sponge right here in some water and just kind of sponge on your water as you're mixing it with the trowel. And you want to get it to like a cake-like mixture, like when you're making cake and you got it, you know, you don't want it liquidy, you just want it kind of, you know, moist. And there it is mixed up. You can see it's no longer yellow color of the sand, it's gray like everything. Thoroughly mixed. You shouldn't have any spots where it looks like it's just sand. It looks like a pile of sand mixed with cement. Alright, so we add a little bit water, and now it's starting to get, you know, moist. And that's about where we want it. We don't want it dripping with water.
It's cool.
Okay, now this is ready to be packed down to where our low spot is. Alright, so hours later, I don't know, 3-4 hours, you can see it's pretty level now. Used about 3 bags of sand, and we ran out of sand. I probably need another bag or 2 to finish off this area here, right here. So I still got to go up to about right here. So yeah, about 2 more bags of sand to do this area. But you can see the lip. That's a good inch and a quarter right there high. So this is a pain in the butt to lay down and to level out, but it is a little cheaper than the leveler, a lot cheaper. But yeah, it does take some physical labor, and you gotta constantly go over it with a you know, a straight edge, and to get it straight. And you can see it's pretty straight. It's probably not perfect, but it's okay. It's a lot better than what it was. Alright, today I got this filled in. You can see where it's wet here. So it's nice and level now. You can see how thick that is. I don't know, it's like a good 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches. That's how off the floor was. But now got a nice and level floor finally, and now I can set my tile. Alright, here we are tiling the floor now finally. And what I did is I marked the middle of the room, from the middle going this way and the middle going this way, and I put, you know, I chalk lined it, and I made sure that the ends were all good, you know, and it was fine. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing all the full pieces first, and I'm stopping wherever there's going to be a cut. So over there's going to be some cuts, and all cuts down here. So I'll place 3 more tiles here, and then these 3 and 4 right here are not done yet. I just put it there to see how it would lay out. So pretty much all this is done. Okay, that's about about 1 bag of 50-pound thin set porcelain thin set. So I think it did 21 tiles. These are 18 by 18s. I am buttering the backside and troweling through it on both sides, so there's more than enough thin set there. Seems to grip better that way. But yeah, that's how I'm doing it. I'm making sure I do the quick ones, the easy ones first, and then later I'll use a tile cutter and I'll do the rest. I'll cut all of my tiles, and then when I have them all cut, then I'll go and put the thin set under there. But I'll do that tomorrow after this is dried. That way I can step on this and get to these. Alright, here it is, exactly 24 hours later. And now you can walk on it. I'll finish up my cuts. All these are going to be cuts. Save those fun ones for last. And you wait 24 hours so you can step on the tile while you go and make your cuts for these. And then we'll grout after that dries. Thinking for the closet here, I might do a different tile, but I got plenty of tile to actually do in there. But we'll see. Yeah, it came out pretty nice. Nice and level. That's for sure. Compared to what it would have been. Alright, I decided to take the 220 dryer outlet, and I'm going to be moving it over at least 8 inches or so, or maybe even more, somewhere over here in this location, because the cabinets that were here, they were more over to the right, but now I want them more over to the left for the doorway, so I have to move this over. I made sure I got the right breaker and test it. Always test it. This can kill you. 220 volts. So there's power here. And just to be on the safe side, I put duct tape on it, so when I run in there, just in case.
this hole trimmed out a little bit right here, and got to trim this out a little bit on this side, and that fits in there nice and snug. Alright, so 5 bits later, finally got this thing cut out, and believe me, it took me a long time. Clean it up. But I guess it's worth it if you want a nice, circle. And that's going to be where my dryer vent goes through. It's going to go down into the basement, so that's why I have that circle. There we go. Slide this in place. Alright. A lot of work to get a little hole in the tile, porcelain tile. I guess it was worth it because it's not going to look like a crappy job. It's going to look very professional when it's done. One thing that makes tile look really bad is when people, they just screw up the cuts. Like, if somebody didn't want to do this, they could have just cut it here, cut it all the way across, and then you'll have another grout line. And to me, that just doesn't look good. So take your time on the cuts, and in the end, it'll look a lot better. And literally, I've been working on this since, I don't know, 3 o'clock, and I've only done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts. Because I had to relocate that electrical thing and do some other stuff, so it's taking me way longer than it should have, and it's probably 11 o'clock now. Alright, so I had a high spot right up in here where I put too much sand with cement. I tried an angle grinder. No, it doesn't work. An angle grinder doesn't have what it takes. This is really hard. It's pretty much almost like concrete. So you really need an angle grinder if you need to shave it down some to get your tiles to fit. Alright, so this was a high spot here before, and now it's not, so now I can put my thin set in there and raise it up if I have to. Alright, so it took me quite a bit of time to do these cuts over here. Kind of complicated cuts to do. Takes time. But once you get your cuts all done, then you can go and finish up all the thin set. Move them down. Alright, next thing I'm doing is using this little grout tool to get out, any thin set that's too high before I put in the grout. You want to scrape the middle groove. It's also good, you can use the bottom edge this flat part here on each, and you can anything on the tile that you got some thin set on, it'll scrape it right off. So it's always good to do that, because if you don't, if you have a high spot of thin set, the grout ain't gonna get in there, and then eventually the grout's gonna peel off, and you're gonna see the thin set underneath. Always don't skip the step. Alright, here's the tiles after I grouted it. Came out pretty nice. Still gotta finish up the closet. I'll do that another day. The main thing is I want to get the washer and dryer in here. That's why I had to do this area over here. It's a little hazy. I gotta wipe it one more time. And I left this undone on the wall. I'm gonna caulk that instead of grouting it, because that's just gonna crack if I grout it on the wall, because there's flex in the sheetrock sometimes. Pretty nice. Can't wait to see it all cleaned up. Take all the haze off. Wait 3 days, and then I'll put some sealer on the grout to keep it waterproof. Alright, so I went ahead and I caulked my wall edge all the way around. I prefer to do that so it doesn't crack the grout. If I would use grout, it would have just cracked. Silicone doesn't crack, expands with the wall. And there's a little trade secret I want to tell you guys when you're doing it. You know how you make a mess on your finger and stuff? There's a little secret. Get some dish soap and put it with some water, and after you put the bead in, go back and spray it, that spot a little bit, and spray some on your finger, some soap and water, and then you can run your finger and it won't stick to your finger. See, I got a little bit in my nail, but usually I have it all over me, and this stuff really sticks, so I'm hands clean fairly this time. So yeah, just run your bead with the soap on your finger. It won't, and the soap won't stick to the other places where you spray. So that's a good thing when you run your finger down, it just stays where you want it, where you didn't spray the soap beforehand. So that's just a real quick tip that I found out from a very old person that's been doing this for many years. Next is you can see I got my hoses for the washer and dryer. The dryer has a steam function, so I got to run one of the cold hoses to it, to the dryer. And I got my hot and cold. These are stainless steel braided hoses. And I had to get a new vent that's going to go through here down into the basement. And the dryer doesn't come with an electrical cord, so I had to add one of those too. And I got a 3-prong, so that's what I used. Alright guys, finally got this job done. Well, mostly done. Everything's done except for the closet. I'll do that another day. The most important part of this was to get the washer and dryer inside of here, because I haven't done washing quite a bit. I'm running out of clothes. And so we got this Samsung front load wash machine and dryer. Looks pretty good. This one has a steam option, which means I had to run a hose to it for that option. And this one has where you can open it and add clothes if you forgot anything. It's pretty cool. We got them on sale for Black Friday or whatever. And that's the hose setup. I have everything zip tied back so it doesn't rattle, you know, when this thing's moving. And also there's little legs at the bottom you want to adjust, and they recommend that you make sure everything's level. Some people complain about these things, you know, vibrating too much, and it's because it's not level. And you want to check level here on the side, okay, and on this side you want to check the level there, and you want to check it in the back. Of if those are all good, then the thing shouldn't make too much noise. This one was fairly quiet. Okay. Because I've seen the reviews on these, and a lot of people were complaining and saying, "Oh, it's too noisy." Well, yeah, it's going to be noisy if you don't know how to, use a level and play around with those legs down there at the bottom of the machine. That's what they're for. They're adjustable. But enough about that. Yeah, again, tile came out real nice. It's still a little hazy. Probably have to mop it a couple times. But I think it came out pretty nice compared to that old nasty commercial carpet that was in here that really stunk really bad. So I still need some transitions here and there. The reason why I didn't put anything is because I'm probably going to tile this as well, the kitchen, and I'm probably just going to butt up the other tile that I use there and raise it. I still got to do the closet here. But overall, this part came out real nice. There's the transition to the bathroom. It's pretty nice, pretty flush. Well, that's it for this video. Catch you guys on the next video. Take care. I hope you guys found this video interesting or learned something off of it. And yeah, the flooring is pretty good looking compared to what it was. Alright guys, take care. God bless.